Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Orange County. We're glad that you decided to join us today, or you might be watching this a little bit later, but we're glad that you've tuned in. And we always like to begin our service with our mission and our vision statement. Our vision is centered in divine love. We joyfully co create a world that works for all. And our mission is to awaken, inspire, and transform lives. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who's making this service possible. We have Bill on piano, and we have Tom on sound, and Waverly on the camera, and John and Matthew doing the recording. And we have Diane as our platform prayer person and daily word. Today is our fellowship in the park. So if you're watching this and it's at the regular time, 10 o'clock, join us. Bring your chair, a mask, and something to eat, a snack, and join us at 11:30 at the Santa Victoria Park, which is on the corner of Santa Maria and Santa Victoria in Laguna Hills. We have a great time there. It's a great opportunity to visit with people at a safe distance outside. There's lots of trees. We have a lot of fun. You know, we all need to get out there and see some people. So come and join us today. And then this Wednesday from 6:30 to 8 is our Divine Audacity book discussion. And this is a book study group which expands on affirmative prayer by examining divine light and how it's both audacious and normal to claim it for ourselves. And so the Zoom meeting number is 862 3646 8138. And then on Sunday, next Sunday, August 16th at 11 a.m. is our town hall meeting, and we will have that Zoom ID listed on our webpage and in our announcements that come out. And remember that if you're buying stuff on Amazon, and if you're like me, you're probably buying a lot of stuff on Amazon. Remember, instead of going to Amazon.com, to go to SmileAmazon.com and pick Unity of Orange County. And while you're shopping, Orange County, we get a little bit of whatever you spend. And don't forget to hit the like button on our video. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, to do so. And now I would like to introduce Diane to lead us in the daily word and meditation.
Today's daily word for Sunday, August 9th is appreciation. I am grateful for the good in my life. Today, I take time to appreciate the abundance that surrounds me. I notice the beauty of the natural world, the talent and dedication behind the music and art I enjoy, and the skill and commitment of the people who work to maintain a safe and orderly world. The more I focus my attention on everything I have to appreciate in my life, the more I notice even more blessings. I am eager to share the gift of appreciation, so I give my full attention to someone I care about as we share a meal or a favorite activity, or simply a quiet moment together. Feeling grateful for my life's blessings, I feel renewed appreciation for the love and beauty that enriches my life. And from Luke chapter 10, verse 23, then turning to the disciples, Jesus said to them privately, "Blessed are the eyes that see what you see." Now next we'll move into a few moments of meditation. So let's start by taking 3 deep breaths to the count of 6. So breathe in the love of the divine. Release. Breathe in the light of the divine. Release. Breathe in the goodness of the divine. Release. And now just take some time in silence to feel our life-affirming gift of breath. Feel it through every cell. And just keep breathing in all that lusciousness of the divine. Now let's focus on appreciation. So breathe in, appreciation, release. Breathe in appreciation for everything around us right at this moment. Appreciation of the music that we're hearing right now. Appreciation for all the beauty in the world, all the goodness. Appreciation for this room, wherever we are. Appreciation for this country that we live in. Appreciation for the world. Appreciation for the universe. Just pure appreciation for all. Feel that appreciation. Feel that love of the divine just filling us up. Feeling the divine within us. Feeling our faith and releasing any fears that come up. Feeling belief. Feeling and appreciating that all things are possible when we allow the divine to fill us and fill our lives and overflow into the world and into the universe. So now let's just focus on that feeling of appreciation as we move into silence.
you, Bill. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. So last week we talked about living life and the power of life, but today we're going to continue with that a little bit. And the topic is use it or lose it. So if you've ever had a broken bone or had any kind of surgery in any part of the body, you know that when you don't use something, after a while you lose it. You lose the ability to do it. And so it's important for us to make sure that we're constantly using everything that we've got. So back in March, I had hip replacement surgery. And as soon as that surgery was done, I had to get out of the bed and start walking and had to have physical therapy. And they sent me home with physical therapy and also with instructions to walk, because they said the only way I could get the use of my hip again was to use it. So we know that this is true about the human body, but it's also true about every aspect of our life. So there is a parable in the Bible which I love, but I have to tell you, lots of things in the Bible are a little difficult because we read it, and when we read it literally, we think this is the reason that people have trouble with religion or have trouble with God. So we're going to read a parable. I'm going to read a parable, and it's called the Parable of the Talents. And it's definitely one of these parables that people wonder why they would want to believe in God. So it says, "For it is if a man going on a journey summoned his slaves and entrusted his property to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. The one who had received the 5 talents went off at once and traded them and made 5 more talents. In the same way, the one who had the 2 talents made 2 more talents. But the one who had received the 1 talent went off and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those slaves came and settled accounts with them. Then the one who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 more talents, saying, 'Master, you handed over to me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more talents.' His master said to him, 'Well done, good and trustworthy slave. You have been trustworthy in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master.' And the one with the 2 talents also came forward, saying, 'Master, you handed over to me 2 talents. See, I have made 2 more talents.' His master said to him, 'Well done, good and trustworthy slave. You have been trustworthy in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master.' Then the one who had received the 1 talent also came forward, saying, 'Master, I knew you are a harsh man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you did not scatter. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours.' But his master replied, 'You wicked and lazy slave. You knew, did you, that I reap where I did not sow and gather where I did not scatter? Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and on my return I would have received what was mine with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to the one with 10 talents. For to all those who have, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. As for this worthless slave, throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.'" So if you were to read this literally, you would really wonder, why Jesus was even talking about this. I mean, here we have this master, and we know that metaphysically, anytime we see master, father, any of these type of figures in the Bible, that represents God. So here God gives three people these talents, and talent at this time was money, but it could be money, it could be gifts, it could be anything. It could be assets that we have. He gives one 5, he gives one 2, and he gives one 1. And then the one who has 5, he goes ahead and he invests it. So God is really happy with him. The one who has 2 invests it. And again, his master, God, is really happy with him. The one who had 1 didn't invest it. So for me, I figured the one that got 1 had a resentment. He probably figured, you know what? This guy got 5. This guy got 2. I only got 1. I'm not going to do anything with this. He was probably pissed. So he put it in the ground and he decided not to do anything with it. Now the master comes back and he is really angry. So we have to ask ourselves, what is this? If God is a loving God and the master represents God, then why would he, it says, throw him into the outer darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth? Well, metaphysically, it's not that he got thrown into the darkness. It's that if we have something that has been given to us and we don't use it, we are in darkness. We are in our own darkness. We don't need anyone to throw us in a dungeon. So think of it as, we'll use it instead of money. You can apply this to money too. But think of it as gifts. We all have these gifts. Everybody has been given gifts. Some people have more gifts than others. I cannot play the piano like Bill. I certainly cannot sing. And as much as I wanted to be a great athlete or a dancer, I couldn't do really well at that. Some people are born with this amazing natural talent. But if they don't use it, if they don't practice and they don't train, they wind up losing the talent that they were given. And some people may not have as much talent as some people, but they have quite a bit of talent in something, and the same thing is true. But everybody has something. And even the one who had 1 had something. And if we don't use the gifts that we are given, we lose those gifts. And the gifts don't have to be any big thing. I had a friend in Savannah named Anne, and she had this gift of hospitality. She was this fabulous hostess. Now, I have to tell you, she wasn't a good cook, but she had this great apartment, and everyone loved to go there. So all the parties were at Anne's place, and she made everyone feel great, and we just loved going there. And everyone would bring food, and we would have a potluck, and that way everyone would have something to eat. And she would have all these parties. But see, she was using the gift that she got. And not only did she bless all the people that was there, but she was blessing herself. Because when we give from our talent, not only are the receivers blessed, but we are blessed. I had another friend in Miami. Her name was Jane. And Jane was a single mom, and she was a full-time student. And she had very little income. They lived in a small apartment. She didn't even have a car. And the only income she had was the money she got for going to school, with a little bit because she had a child. And so she didn't have money to spend on gifts or things like that. And a friend of ours had given birth. And so Jane could not afford a baby gift. So what she did is she made up this certificate. And the certificate was for 5 hours of babysitting service by Jane. Well, the mother, if you're a mother out there, you know that when you have a baby, 5 hours of someone watching your kid is a fabulous gift. Even if you do nothing but sleep, and not have to worry about the kid. So when we give of our gifts, whatever they are, we are blessed and the receivers are blessed. And another thing that happens, we get more of the same. So I have another friend who had so much work one day to do. He was just beyond himself. He couldn't figure out how he was going to get everything done. And so he was in a really bad place. And then a friend called up and asked him to come over and help him. He had a project he was working on. So my friend left his stuff and he went and he helped this friend. And he spent all day there helping him and working on this stuff. Well, an amazing thing happened. He went home, went to bed, and when he woke up in the morning, he had so much energy and enthusiasm for what he had to do in front of him that he was easily able to complete his project. You see, this parable is about us using our gifts. And people say to me all the time, well, I don't have gifts. I don't have any talents. Everyone has received something. And so it just so happens, things never happen by accident. So this week, my spiritual mentor gave me this assignment. And she said to me to make a list of my assets. So right away I go, I'm not going to do that. First of all, I can't win. If I list things, then it's going to sound like I'm filled with pride. And if I don't list things, then she's going to tell me, I have a poor self-esteem. So I thought, I can't win. So what do when you think you can't win? You procrastinate. Well, at least that's what I do. So I procrastinated and procrastinated. And then one morning I woke up at some ridiculous time in the morning. And I thought, now I was half asleep. I thought, well, I might as well do this because I'm so out of it. I'll just do like stream of consciousness kind of stuff. So I started writing. And I wrote what I thought was this really long list. And I sent it to her. And an amazing thing happened. She sent me back a thing and she said, well, that's really good, but you also have all these. And she listed 6 more. And I'm like, and here all my life I thought, I never got anything. The whole world got all these gifts and I must have been at the end of the line when they were being handed out. But what I realized by doing this assignment is that we all have assets. We all have positive traits. We all have things that we can offer. It might be something as simple as being a good listener. But when someone is going through a difficult time, what they need more than anything is someone to listen to them. And it might be the gift of baking, where maybe they can make some cookies and bring it to a neighbor. But it doesn't matter how much talent we are naturally blessed with. If we don't use that talent, we are basically saying, we're just not being grateful. Have you ever given a gift to someone and they weren't grateful for the gift? I have. It was a kid. I'm not going to mention who it is. So I gave this child this gift. It was a Lego set. I knew they wanted Legos. But I guess he wanted the big Legos. And I could only afford a small Legos. So I gave him this Lego set, and he goes, is that it? I wanted the big one. Well, you know how I felt? First of all, I wanted to take the gift, just like the parable. I wanted to take the gift away from him and give it to someone else. I mean, it was just so unbelievable. So we have to take these gifts and use them. So I love sport movies. I love movies about sports, especially movies about real-life sports heroes who overcame some stuff or maybe had a natural talent but really worked hard at developing it, because it's so encouraging, and it really just makes me feel really good. So one of my favorite movies is the movie Race, which is about Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens was a Black American athlete in the 1930s at a time when there was a lot of discrimination, and he went to the Olympics in Germany with Hitler, and his story is absolutely amazing story. And he goes on, he wins 4 gold medals. 3 of them are individual, and he beat all kinds of records. And all his life, he was a great runner. He could run really well. So he decides he wants to go to college. He grew up in Cleveland. He decides he wants to go to Ohio State, which is in Columbus, because he was told that there was a man there who was like the coach he needed if he wanted to go to the Olympics and win these gold medals. So he goes and he gets an interview with the coach. And this is the scene from the movie where he meets this coach for the first time.
Charlie Riley says you can run.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Says you're a natural, best he's ever seen.
Well, I guess.
Me personally, I don't trust naturals. They think they don't have to work. I will say, you can run. Boy, oh boy, you can jump. What I want to know is, can you win? And what I mean by that is, can you work? You know, your mama might have taught you how to dress right, but she sure as didn't teach you anything about manners. You should look a man in the eye when he's speaking to you. Can you work?
I was picking 100 pounds of cotton a day at 6 years old. You ever pick cotton? The way it cuts you when you get it off the bowl? Yes, sir, I can work.
Coach Riley's a smart man. But I was watching you out there today, and I'll tell you this. Your start's no good, your rhythm's off, and your posture's lousy. But we can fix all that. That's easy. But if you want to win, it takes more than a pair of legs, all right? You win up here. And that's the part I don't know about you yet. I don't know if you got that.
I ran 100 yards last year in Chicago in 9.4. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the same as Wyckoff. That's a world record.
Records don't mean... You know what matters? Medals. Some kid come out of nowhere and snatch your record from you like that. But a gold medal, that's yours, for life.
So the reason I love that scene, and this is so true with so many of the sports movies, is it's about someone who has a natural talent, but until they work at it, until they really practice, until they really use it, they really don't get to fully express the gift that they have been given. And so Jesse actually trains under this man, and he does go to the Olympics, and like I said, he wins. And you really need to watch the movie because, first of all, it's a fabulous movie about how difficult it was, even in this country, and this is in Ohio, this isn't the South, for African Americans, how they were treated. There's a scene, it's at the end, he's won all these medals, he comes back to the United States, he isn't invited to the White House, no one has done what he has done. And he's going to a dinner with the coach, and he's got his wife, and the coach is with his wife, and they're having this dinner in this hotel in his honor. And they walk up to the front door, and the doorman tells him and his wife that they have to go to the rear door to the servants' quarters. And they say, but the dinner is for them, for me. And they said, I'm sorry, we can't let you in the front door. So here is this man who has won 4 gold medals for the United States, who came home, they had a ticket parade and everything for him, and yet he can't walk through the front door of this hotel to his own honorary dinner. It's a really powerful movie. But the main part of this movie is the fact that we have to use the gifts that we have been given. We can't keep them to ourselves. And so many people are doing that now because of the coronavirus. They're using it as an excuse to just sit and do nothing. Folks, if you don't use what God has given you, you're going to lose it. You will lose the ability to do that. So we have to use all of our gifts. And it doesn't matter whether you have 5 or 2 or 1, we all have something. So I'd like to invite you to make a list this week of all of your assets, all of the things you have going for you. And when you finish the list, send it to somebody who really knows you. And ask them if they want to add anything, to send it back. I guarantee you, you will find that no matter how you feel about whether or not you have talents or not, we all have talents. We all have gifts. And if we don't use them, we will lose them. So close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. It is not easy looking at these gifts that we've been given. but we have all been given this life one day at a time. And if we don't use our gifts to serve God and to serve others, we cannot experience all the joy and wonder of life here and now. If we lock ourselves away and hide our gifts, we will be in the darkness. We will be gnashing our teeth. And at the end, when we take our last breath, we will say, I wish I had. If I only did this. If I only did that. So before it's too late, take an honest look at yourself. Find your talents, your assets, your gifts, and then use them. And you will be blessed. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. So every week we like to go over the 5 basic principles that we believe in here at Unity. And so we're going to do it this week as well. Number 1 is God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. And 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. And 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And 5, I do and give my best by living the truth that I know I make a difference. And one way we make a difference is by giving, the law of giving and receiving. And I want to say the church really appreciates all the gifts that you give us. We wouldn't be able to be here and do this if it wasn't for that. And we try and make it easy for you to give us these gifts. So one way is texting. You can text 77977, and in the message, put Unity of OC Give. You can go on our website. You can download our app. You can mail it to us. We try and make it easy for you. Whatever you can send it by pigeon, carrier pigeon. We don't care, as long as the carrier pigeon knows where we are. And we're just very grateful for any gifts that you give us. And so, thank you for giving it to us. Also, if you are watching this live, grab your chair, grab your mask, grab something to drink, and join us at the park. I'm telling you, we have a great time. It's a beautiful little spot. We love being there, and we hope that you will join us there. And remember to like us and subscribe to our channel. And now let us close with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. And thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful week. God bless.